So, I had a client the other day talking about how he was not feeling inspired and that he seemed to be stuck in what he felt like just, life wasn't just getting it for him. He had a lot of complaints about everything that was around him, his family, his job, various different things, right? And so, as we began to talk a little bit more, what I found out more about it was he had been really in this type of rut for some years, right? And so he's tried various different things to, as you say, pump a little juice into him, put a little jolt into his life. But he always found himself back at the same spot. So he actually brought out a word that was pretty interesting. He said he wanted to be transformed, right? That he didn't have any type of, his life hadn't had any type of transformation. And that he felt like he was the same guy in his 40s mentally as he was in his 20s. Well, obviously that's a problem, right? But he hadn't grown. And so as I thought about it, and I wanted to kind of talk to some of my brothers today as we continue to straighten the crown. I want us to look at, are we in a position of not being transformed? And what is really holding us back from achieving that new level? It's not your woman. Well, it could be. It's not your kids. It could be. But it's you, right? And what I told him as I began to really work with him, and that I was thinking about other examples that I've ran across over the years, and even in some of this of myself, how being emotionally deregulated. I know you guys heard me talk about this a lot, and I don't really want to get away from that too much. We're talking about various different things because what really happens with us as men, that we are not emotionally regulated. So various things happen. Either we are very stoic or we super sensitive. Neither one of them are good, right? But either it being stoic, that means that nothing can come in. We have this stern demeanor and almost rigid and brittle, right? And that's how we treat everybody. We treat our family like that. We treat our woman like that, our kids like that. Hell, we even treat the pets like that. We probably have a little bit more, in some cases, we probably have a little bit more empathy for the pets than we do for humans, which makes no sense to me. But it is what it is in that. But when we start looking at transforming our lives, we have to find the balance within ourselves, right? And this is where we get back to this grounded masculinity piece. We have to start learning. We have to be competent. We have to learn ourselves, right? We really have to be in a position of learning and understanding why I'm this way. What happened here? Did I see this modeled somewhere? Did I see this behavior model? Did I understand it that this is the way a man's supposed to be? Is this the traditional way a man's supposed to be? And why is that the tradition? Right? Why is that? Are we questioning things? Are we really looking at ourselves and are we taking, some of us even take scripture and we really just mold scripture to be so rigid and so packed with just a whole lot of sternness and that we don't really get the opportunity to grow emotionally. And that's the emotional deregulation. Because you don't have balance. You're not congruent. You know, we talked about those 5 C's in grounded masculinity. You're not congruent. You're not having any balance. And you talk about you want transformation and you're looking for transformation. You have to learn yourself. You have to get some balance. Then you have to be consistent. Where we consistently do crazy things. We consistently don't think about it. We consistently just feel like I'm man, you woman, I'm man, you family, you do what I say, do not what I do. We have these mentalities, behaviors, and this mentality and the behavior that follow with it that really throws everything off, and then we're not connected. We're not connected. And when we start talking about connection, and this is what is really I want to hammer in, it's probably more about this right here today than anything else. This connection piece. How we connecting back to ourselves and back to others. How we allowing this vulnerability, the vulnerable space. Because that's where the transformation with this guy, this is where the transformation wasn't able to take place. Because he was not allowing things in nor allowing things out. So therefore, he had no connection. He was functioning in the world. He'll do some things. He'll go on trips, or he'll hang out, or he'll buy cars, and he'll do various different things. And those things really didn't hold the impact. They gave him some happiness, but they didn't give him any joy. Right? So, and the joy is where the transformation is. It's that thing that really just inside that allow to come out. If you holding a wall, if you got a wall here, you're not allowing the connection. You're not allowing yourself to be plugged in somewhere and somebody plugging into you. This is when you actually are you're seriously having problems. And we get in our 30s or mid 30s, our 40s, our 50s, and we want to see why everybody is fleeing us. Why is everybody getting away from us? It got to be something wrong with them. It can't be wrong. It can't be nothing wrong with me. But you haven't transformed. You haven't elevated. That's what some people might call it, elevated. You haven't rise. You haven't risen to the occasion. You haven't started hitting peaks. You just plateaued. You just didn't go right in. You got here to the bottom base of the mountain, and you said, you know what, damn that mountain. I'm just gonna stay right here. I like it right here. Right here is okay. And so, but right here, let me tell you what happens right here. You start lying because you're lying to yourself, and you're gonna lie to other people around you, or you're gonna mishandle people because you're mishandling yourself. So if you're doing yourself like this, you're definitely gonna do somebody else like this, right? You're at the base of the mountain and you're scared to climb. And that's emotional deregulation. You're scared to let yourself get out there. You're scared to let somebody in. Now, the other side of that is you all over the place with your emotions. You heard everybody talk about, you need to be more sensitive, and you need to be this, you need to be more caring, and you just a hot mess, just full of just stuff all over the place. You get angry easy. You withdraw easy. You go off. You don't manage your impulses. That's the other side of emotional deregulation. And you're not allowing yourself to be connected even in that. You're not taking the time. You're not grounding yourself. You're not saying, hey, let me hear what this other person is saying. Maybe some of this stuff, what they're saying may not be any good for me, but something in there got to be for me. What can I do differently? How can I connect into someone else? How can I connect into life? This is transforming. This is about, yeah, you have some independence, but the connection is about the interdependence. It's not codependency. It's not independence. It's interdependence. It's me needing you just like I will want you to need me. It's you sharing with me just like I need to share with you. And what happens as men, we've been taught something one way because we've seen other men do it this way, or we got older and the other men start talking this locker room talk, or then we just that other guy who been surrounded by women all his life. He was groomed by women. He was raised by women. His grandmama, his mama, his sisters, his aunties, all this are just women. And he's taking on this soft demeanor. All this testosterone with estrogen energy. That's crazy. Your mind is all over the place. Real talk, your mind is all over the place. And you don't realize that's the issue. Some of us get, got it ain't even mommy issues. I read a statement the other day. It was called monogamous mothering, right? Something along that line there, where it's almost like the son is like coupled to the mother, right? Or he is so in need of pleasing his mother, or want to please his mother, that when he start dealing with other women, that's what he really wants. That's what he needs from her. He needs mommy. That's emotionally deregulated, and that is not transforming. That is not a transformation. You're not transforming into the man you're supposed to be. It should be, I remember the cartoons back in the day. I think they had the movies that come out. They got like 1,000 of them now called the Transformers, right? And they just break down and everything start turning into something else or whatever. Robots turn into cars and turn into planes, all type of stuff here, right? But they evolve into something a little bit higher, which you won't really realize that they move into something a tad higher. They get to another level of their existence. They might come down for a little bit, but then they get into a whole level of existence so they can battle the things that they need to battle. But we can't transform. As men, we're not transforming. We're not breaking down and, folding out and laying out and everything else. We just look like a little rock. Just looking like a little rock. And that's what your life looks like. It's a rock. No purpose. Just sitting there, waiting for somebody to throw it somewhere else, and it's going to get thrown. It's just going to sit right there too, because it has nothing. It's not doing anything. So, my men, what we need to do, really need to start looking at ourselves from the standpoint of how do I make these connections. First, look at yourself objectively. Look at yourself and say, you know what? Is this me? Don't gaslight yourself. Now, I'm saying, is this me? Really, I can see where I can do something different. Have a real conversation with the people around you. Make it a judgment-free zone. Because, a lot of times they're going to be scared to say something to you, right? Because of the way you've been acting. Either you've been blowing off or either you just cut everybody off, right? So, and you're going to have to really get out your feelings to hear real talk. It's your turn to be in the hot seat. You have to really just hear what they have to say because you're looking to transform. Because there's no way we getting 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. We still kind of having these same thoughts. And I'm going to let you know, as you start getting towards 35 and 40, real talk, you got more years behind you than you probably got in front of you. It's just going to keep this 100. You probably got more years behind you than you got in front of you. So you need to make the best out of the years that you're moving forward with. You need to be in a position of and not hiding behind religion, but embracing the religion so it can transform you into something different. Because that's what happens too. People hide behind spirituality and religion, and they get in behind the do's and the don'ts, the lawfuls and the unlawfuls. That's where they stick at, and they don't get into the principles of understanding, care, and concern, and love, and empathy, and all these other. They just get into this rigidness of the do's and don'ts. This is just you practicing your emotional deregulation, and that's what you don't understand. So I want us to be able to be as brothers, helping each other out, and talking to other brothers, and having a close friend, and really having that real conversation with a close friend. And as a close friend, I didn't say best friend because I talked about that before, but as a close friend, you want to make sure that, hey, I'm here for you. I want to hear you. I want to open up to you just like you're trying to open up to me, right? That's the connection that we should be looking for in order to transform into better men. Hey, I thank y'all for tuning in today. Obviously, this is a great day, and I just want us to do better. Leave your comments below. Always, y'all can reach out to me. We're streaming on YouTube. Please subscribe. Tell a friend. Subscribe to that Get Made podcast on YouTube. Also, y'all been helping me out. Y'all been making my numbers good. I appreciate it. I want y'all to look at these videos all the way through. I'm gonna start coming up with little bonuses at the end of some of these podcasts. So y'all might sleep on some of the things I'm gonna have for you. Some little treats I'm gonna have for you at the end of these podcasts. So with that,